What is up guys, Wraec here with a new video, and today with the last guide for the squad rotation phase in Ravaged Realm. Today is Lightbearer Day, so I'm going to show you my team for the Lightbearer faction, the teams that I used, a little bit of the experiments and some thoughts on it, so you better get a grasp of what is going to help you deal high damage on this day. Starting off, I'm currently ranked at rank 9, hopefully still. I was ranked at 7 before, now I've dropped a little bit to 9. I'm still pretty happy with the damage. That is about what I expected to do today. We have Lightbearer and Fresto. So Fresto, of course, is a big asset. That is just the guy we also use in Dream Realm, so great for that. And I had to try a lot of teams actually. I tried many different versions and tried some different charms, mythic charms on there as well. Starting off with some experiments that didn't really work out. I was thinking that maybe, considering we have a bit of a lack of support heroes, a full melee team might be good. Like just combining Fresto in there and going with the melee team and buffing that with Roan and getting some energy on there. Didn't work out too well. You kind of struggle to survive on the second team if you do that. So with some development and some upgrades, you can see 23, 24, 26 here, the biggest step. I then switched to a team from Nadine over on the Analytica Discord. Metal once again made a nice graphic for that. If you've seen the last videos, you know his graphics, great stuff. And then I had to go and optimize some of the charms, and I had to build Mirael. I didn't have Mirael before, but Mirael is actually your preferred hero here. You can replace her with Walker, that works, or with Roan. But really the thing is, look at that, it's a 600% multiplier. It's just great. You have the Seer, and if you combine all of that, Mirael can deal surprisingly good damage. We can watch one attempt of the fight right now and see. So this is the team that I basically used. It's the same as the one in Metal's graphic. It works very, very well. It is a lot less damage if you go for Walker. Like I tried Walker, it was like about half the damage Mirael dealt. It sometimes was better to use Roan there, so keep that in mind. Definitely make sure, if you're not following this setup, that you have the buff from Cassadee on your Merrily. You want to see the little twirl around that. That is very important at the beginning of the fight. And for this, like really, you're surviving due to the Corrin shield on this fight. So that is it's really important to have Corrin on the second team there. One very unfortunate thing that is kind of important for this, you might already have built it in the past, but you really want your 10-star Cassadee. It is a hero that sometimes plops up and is just rather interesting. You might have built it, I think it was in the meta in some of the Dream Realm teams. The thing she really does is, with her ult, once that hits your heroes, you can see they also get this little twirl we saw at the beginning of the fight around Mirael, and that allows them to activate an ability of Cassadee called Undertow, which deals damage and usually would stun the enemy, knock them up. In this case, of course, we don't get the knock-up, but we get the stun. We get the damage, so we can really upgrade the damage of our heroes with that, making Cassadee one of the most important damage dealers here, which you will see in a sec, and making it even better that we have Fresto because we get one additional hero. Surprisingly enough, that was also the moment I noticed we don't really have summoning heroes in Lightbearer, because that would have been a nice combination with her. Yeah, sadly we don't really have that, so kind of have to live with what we have in this situation. Temesia, of course, nice true damage. Vala would be great if we could get her to the blade form, which we sadly can't. So that is a bit unfortunate. We can't really click here, so it's a boss fight, so no manual steering of the fight, and of course the boss has infinite HP, so it doesn't go below 50%. So we're kind of stuck with her long range form. Corrin dealing some true damage, of course, and the most important thing, keeping that Vala alive, because she basically just lives through his shield. And we don't really have too many healers. Like we have Roan and we have Faye, basically. We have a big amount of heroes in the Lightbearer faction. We just don't have a lot of very good ones. But still, Mirael is kind of decent. Walker you can use if you don't have Mirael. Roan did worse than I thought. And I hope my Val actually doesn't die here, but you can see, like, without the extra shield, sometimes you would really get in trouble. So what did we do in terms of damage? No new records, sadly, 26.8. Of course, we have a lot of RNG. If you checked out the first fight, you could see that sometimes Merrily is able to jump outside of the area that is hit by the boss, and the boss has a stun. So if you avoid that stun, you have a better uptime of Merrily, meaning you are kind of stuck hoping for her jump RNG, which is a bit unfortunate, is a bit annoying. But it's sometimes a thing you have to live with. On that note, want to point out, if you didn't see yesterday's video, you can buy attempts. So the same is really here situation as in Dream Realm. You want to make use of your attempts here even more than in Dream Realm, really, because the loot is just so much better. So definitely make sure you buy those attempts, use those attempts, and just try to get the best RNG possible for you. In terms of heroes and charms, let's check out the graphic made by Metal. So, we once again have a wonderful graphic made by Metal featuring 3 different teams. One Fresto Mirror team, which was the one we used, which is made by Nadine. Then we have a True Damage team made by Fate, which did a little bit worse, I have to say, for me. And then we have the free-to-play team made by Naive. If you don't have Fresto, that might be an option for you. He's using Faye in there, which would be a bigger problem for me, interestingly enough, than Fresto. So yeah, you can screenshot this. Of course, you can also find this graphic on discord.gg/analytica, and there you want to look out for the Journey Forum, the Journey Hub, and in there is a thread called LB Satsahara, which is the name of the boss, and in there you find a post with this graphic, and also with charm recommendations for every single one. I will now show the ones that Nadine posted for the Fresto Mirror setup, and then I will show you what I used. So Nadine posted basically those charms. I will just quickly go through them. You can go back to the point in the video if you're curious about any of those heroes. Basically focused on the damage dealing heroes, and then I will tell you a little bit more about which heroes and charms you really want to use and which charms are especially important, so that you know which ones maybe to focus with White Essence. So that being said, let's hop back into the game. I will talk a little bit about that. So looking at the heroes now in the Lightbearer faction, you can see there are some, but we have like Chippy and Tammy in there, which won't do much. Faye, not the best healer really, and the most important hero I see in here, also if we take a look at the damage, is of course Merrily, which you probably already have set up, and but maybe you didn't set up Cassadee yet, and you can see Cassadee, quite the substantial amount of damage. This interesting. Yeah, Fresto is not even our third highest damage dealer, so Mirror is surprisingly big asset here. And on the other side, of course, that's why I showed you the screenshots. You want to make sure your damage dealers are set up properly. Going back to the setup, we can check out Lily May. Lily May is really the focus is on haste crit damage boost here. I have one haste crit charm equipped. I usually went for Dream Realm, I went for some more crit, which works fairly well. So you can find the best combination for you. I personally prefer this, just giving her a little bit of extra crit there. We don't know the proper crit resist stats for this boss, so that is a bit sad. The problem is with crit in this game, it's a little bit, well, hard to see what you really need, because you have those insane crit stats like 386% in this situation, which usually would mean you would crit on every single attack, but the enemy has a stat called crit resist, which I mean might be any value really. And if you have, for example, a 330% crit resist value and the enemy has 386% crit, he only has a 56% chance to crit you. It's a crit minus crit resist gives you the chance to crit. So you really want to know the crit resist stat of the enemy. It works fairly well with this setup. Like, I had pretty good results, so maybe copy that, or if you want to gamble a little bit more, you can get higher damage, of course, with this if you are lucky and crit often. So that being said, that is really what you want on Merrily. The true damage combined with the crit works fairly well. On Cassadee, it's a different story. On Cassadee, no, we don't need the equipment. We really need one stat, and that is skill power. The combination of skill power and haste here is perfect, so this charm is really the optimal one. It's also a recommended one. The skill power here helps with her Undertow skill, have the undercurrent here in there, and also you really want to reduce the tidal strength. Bless. Cassadee will bless this ally again after 9 -1 seconds, so you can buff your heroes or the other heroes more often if you have skill power, and that is what you really want. This is the undercurrent skill that I was talking about that is triggered, dealing 240% damage, and the tidal blessing really helps you with that. Cassadee grants temporal blessings to all allies in path of running tide, so you want to add Mythic Plus at least, enhancing then the next 6 normal attacks with the effect of tidal strength. And tidal strength, we already know, is this stat, and we can also cast undercurrent on an enemy who has taken 6 hits from tidal strength. So as soon as the enemy gets hit 6 times by tidal strength, he will get hit by undercurrent as well. And that is what you get with +10. You will notice that it's a lot more damage if you have her at +10. Which is a bit unfortunate because, well, that costs temporal essence. For the other heroes, yeah, we already saw these stats really. It is quite surprising that Mirael did that much damage, but then again, if we see the high modifiers there, it is no wonder. 600% is a ton. And for her, I just went with attack and haste, which is pretty standard, I have to say. It's not like really anything surprising. Attack haste is a pretty good stat though. So the other ones you saw in the screenshot, they are the same for me. On those, I had a little bit of a different take, or I just equipped a little bit something different. For the rest of the heroes, you mostly run pretty standard damage stuff. That is mostly what you do. You can optimize the remaining heroes for more damage if you want as well. The thing is, you kind of just need to rely on RNG here a little bit to get proper stats. You can see, we'll always see that it varies a little bit. And of course, the other thing is it also depends on whether or not you upgraded those heroes in the past. If you don't have Cassadee right now at +10, well, it's a tough call to upgrade her to +10 right now, just because you need her in Aurora squad today, and maybe like 2 more times, because the squad rotation only has like 9 days remaining. So I'm kind of twisted on this. Like, on the one hand, yeah, for the daily ranking, but even if you want to go for the highest charm here, you still have enough time, even if you don't go for Aurora squad in this case. So maybe just take one relaxed day and take the less damage from Cassadee if you don't have it. Seems like a bit of a big investment. On the other hand, might need it later, and it's pretty cool and it's pretty strong ability as well, and might come back at the start of the season, so it's not that bad. It depends on whether or not you struggle to get temporal essence on, or if your other heroes are upgraded. So if you have a ton of heroes that are upgraded and don't really need the temporal essence, okay, cool, you get a good hero out of this that has a very nice buff effect and a very interesting buff effect at the same time. But if you struggle with it, I probably wouldn't go for it, honestly. I personally, I didn't have Mirael. I had to go and actually get 5 more copies of Mirael. She's an A tier, so it's pretty easy. You can buy her from the Dream Realm shop as well. The higher she's upgraded, the better, of course, considering she's a damage dealer in this situation. You can try her out even if you have her at the lower level, though her bone seer is quite good, and that gets buffed on later on in her kit. We didn't really make a video about her yet, but I probably should, because I have to say, I probably didn't use her in any fight up until today. I saw her, of course, as an enemy, and I think you probably at one point were destroyed in the story by one of her major flame ores, like this big flame wall coming down the screen and absolutely demolishing your heroes. Probably happened to every single one of us, but still, I mean, she's never on top of any tier list. She's like pretty low ranked. I don't know what Pritwin ranked her as, but I would expect probably something like C tier or something really bad, I guess. Even though the damage multipliers are there, she just sees no use because you can just use better heroes. But in this situation, where we are restricted, need 8 heroes of affection, she is there, she's a top hero, and yeah, probably the best hero you want to have for dealing damage and adding it to your team. So yeah, quite a good thing. At least, I mean, I don't know if it really saves this day. We don't have too many heroes from raid up that you kind of need, so you don't really have to feel let out if you forgot or didn't go for any rate up, like with the Ludovic one, for example. The people that didn't go for Ludovic were pretty destroyed on the first day of Graveborn, and we just have Vala here, really. They didn't really release too much there yet, so yeah, that is maybe something that makes it a little bit easier. No new record for us, sadly, even worse than the last attempt, and I think with that we can end the video. And yeah, let's hope I can stay within top 20. Tell me your score down below in the comments. And I think if there are no big changes towards the squad rotation, we won't do another Ravage Realm video until the squad rotation ends. But maybe there are some big changes, and I will definitely inform you about that, either in a pin comment, or if it's something really huge, then we'll make a video. Till then, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I wish you a great day. We'll see us in the next one.